Welcome to Land Rover BAR headquarters on race day versus New Zealand in the semi-final playoffs of the Louis Vuitton. Jono, how are we feeling going into today?
Yeah, really good. Crikey, look at this weather. Bermuda's turned on absolute stunner for us today. We've got 12 to 15 knots out there on the race course at the moment. It's going to be a little bit gusty, shifty. I think it's going to be a really exciting day.
That's just the way we like it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We've just come back in for a sail, which is why we're all kitted up at the moment, and the conditions out there are absolutely fantastic.
So what are you testing out there this morning? What are you looking at?
Without
saying too much.
I can't tell you possibly about that on air. No, really, we've been doing this ever since the competition began. We just like to go out there for a sail in the morning, check in on our setups, make sure the boat's working correctly. Like we've always said, these boats are really complicated and technical. So it's a bit of a settler and just make sure everything's going okay.
You see New Zealand out there this morning?
We did not.
Interesting. Interesting. Do we read anything into that or not?
No, not at all. I think every team's got their own warm-up routine and their own procedures, and they'll be doing what they think's best.
We didn't race yesterday, which as sailing fans is sort of bizarre when I say it was a bit of a blessing. So how much of a boost has that given everyone going in today? Bearing in mind yesterday were not the conditions that we wanted anyway, should we have been able to get racing underway?
No, yeah. Well, I think, just from a sailing point of view, we just want a fair race course, and yesterday the race committee deemed that it wasn't strong enough to race, and so we're governed by those rules whatever way it goes, and we were prepared to get out there and hoist sails if need be, but as it turned out we didn't have to. So I think we're looking into a completely different week this week with weather-wise. It's we've got a kind of a medium day today, but then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday looking really breezy for the rest of the series. So I don't think any teams really had exposure to that recently. The first week of trials has been in quite medium speed winds, so it's going to be a really interesting week.
And that's what makes it even more sort of fascinating, really, isn't it? Because the Kiwis, I think most people would assume, chose us because they didn't rate us enough in light air conditions, but that's not how the week is set up. Yeah,
it's a funny one, that, isn't it? I don't know if anyone really knows why they chose us. They obviously have their decisions, and everyone's got to get through every competitor rather, by the end of this competition. But certainly it is going to be a different week from a sailing perspective, and I think it's going to be really exciting for all the fans out there to watch these boats go head to head in some stronger breeze.
I mean, we've been here for say 6 months or so now, sailing out on the Great Sound. Now, have we had conditions as gusty as this yet?
Well, certainly today's conditions we've seen a lot of, but moving into, like, say, Tuesday, Wednesday, when we're going to be into 20, 22 knot breezes, it's certainly not a lot of sailing's been done in those wind conditions, so it's exciting. Everyone knew that it was on the cards, the wind limit's 24 knots, and we've always known that it's going to be up there. So
it's first to 5 versus New Zealand to get to the playoff final stage of the Louis Vuitton. So how are we approaching today, and what would be a good day at the office?
Well, I think internally as a team we're approaching it exactly the same as we approach every day. We just need to go out there and do the best we can with our, with all the components that we can control. Making sure that we're manoeuvring well, we've got good boat speed, we've got good communication on board, and I think really from there the results do they look after themselves. What's a good day? I think if we can come back in and we've sailed well, I think that's all we can really hope for. It's a long competition. It's first to 5, and as we've seen, a lot can happen in these boats day in, day out, and it's going to be a long week.
Ben was talking about the fact in the press conference yesterday, someone asked him, you've been pretty aggressive off the start line, and he said, you haven't seen anything yet. So what are we in store for today? I mean, we have the underdog tag, are we just all out there, nothing to lose, let's just go for it, let's put it all out there?
No, I think at this stage of the competition it's very much like that, I don't know whether it's aggression, or I know he's incredibly focused, and that's exactly what you want in a helmsman. Leading into this part of the competition, he knows what's got to be done. He's starting really, really well. As we've seen yesterday, or the day before rather, the rest of the crew, Giles and Nick and all the boys are really getting this boat around the track in good shape. So I think it's all coming together at the right time.
And what about the crew lineup for today? 2 races. Are you going to be chopping and changing over the course of those 2 races against New Zealand today?
Exactly. We've got this quite nice pairing at the moment. We've got Neil Hunter and David Carr and Ed Powies and Little Bledemon. And these guys have really taken it on. They're incredibly fit, eager, they're amazing sailors, and they really come on and off the boat, and I don't think you see much of a difference in manoeuvring or performance there, so it's great.
You won't say it, but I'll say it for you. In the race that you went on the other day or so, when we really needed the points, when we really needed that psychological battle to be won on our side, you were on the boat, Jono, a bit of experience there. Is that going to happen today as well, when we're taking on the Kiwis in what is a really, really important day?
No, not today. Crikey, it was a few things aligned that day, and like what we've got at the moment is like a whole team working together, and it really is. The atmosphere around here at the moment is electric, from shore team to design to the sailors. Everyone's working together, and we do have this great cohesion happening. So no, I think we're in good shape at the moment with the guys that we've got going out there, and we're just going to keep on plugging away. All
right, we'll make sure we'll deliver you some ice lollies in case the wind drops, right? We'll do what we did yesterday. Okay, look, have a good day out there. 2 races against New Zealand. Let's hope that the fine performances as well in store.
Yeah, no, thank you, and thanks to everyone back home for the support that we're getting. It really is incredible, and I know it means a lot to the guys. So. And
presumably you're well fueled up on Meatless Monday with some vegetarian offerings.
No, that's actually a good point. Meatless Monday over here in Bermuda. We're staying true to our morals, and excitingly too, I think BT have just announced that they're also doing
it too.
Meatless Monday, one of our partners. So I think that's a fantastic positive step, and again shows that this team is not just all about the racing, but also helping save the planet, and we've got a good sustainability charter. So it's great.
Okay, let's move forward without burgers. Thanks, Jono. Have the best of the day out there today, and we'll join you a little bit later after the race action.